Hello, I'm Jana Eubank, and I'm here with my first design team project for Hip Kits. I've been posting lots of projects with Hip Kits, but they asked me to be a part of their design team, and so I am starting the term with the February 2023 Hip Kits. Right here, I'm just thumbing through all the papers so you can see what is included in the main kit. There are 12 pattern papers that are exclusively designed by Hip Kit. They also have cardstock die cuts, 2x2 stamp, vellum die cuts, puffy alphabet stickers, and chipboard frames in this main kit. Now, I also flipped through the coordinating cardstocks. I'm going to be mixing in a few of those as well, but if you would like those, you need to purchase those or add those to your order separately. They are fantastic patterns with beautiful solid colors, and on the back side there is a tone-on-tone heart pattern that is just adorable. So I'm going to choose, the first paper that caught my eye for this layout was that white geometric pattern. So I'm just selecting some papers to go with it. My plan is to cut some holes in that geometric pattern, and I'll show you what I do there in a minute. So I wanted a darker pattern that would show through those openings. I also selected a background cardstock color that will go around the border of this layout. So as I pull in this geometric pattern, you'll see that it's a series of diamonds. My idea is to cut a panel for the right-hand side of the layout, and then if you look closely at the diamond pattern, you can see that there's a little flower shape in between those series of diamonds. My idea was to create my own lace paper, so I'm going to take the time and fussy cut out all the little daisy or flower shapes on this paper. Now, it took a bit of time. I even had to pull out my craft knife to get in there to the nooks and crannies, but I love the result. Now, it would be really cool to pop up this panel of lace or paper on some foam tape to add a little bit of shadowing underneath. However, I know that I want to stitch around the border of this piece with my sewing machine, and so I opted to glue it directly to the blue background paper with some liquid glue. I even went to the trouble of tacking in all the little tiny pieces along the edges, and I love it. I think it looks fantastic. I'm so excited about it. Now, the next thing I want to do is I want to choose a paper for my photos. My photos are going to go on the right hand side, and then I'm going to do some embellishing on that darker blue side on the left. I was going through the papers. I thought I might choose that turquoise piece for a nice monochromatic blue color because I love blue. Blue is one of my favorite colors. However, when I tried out that yellow floral, I just loved the way that it popped and really called your attention to the photos. So that is the color that I went with. I'm going to add this purple piece in between the dark blue and the lace paper just to define it a little bit and add a column to anchor everything to. I'm going to fuss with this for a minute, trimming it a little here, a little there, just to get the proportions exactly right so that I'm not covering too much of that dark blue paper on the left so that I have room to do the embellishing. So next I'm going to pull out the chipboard frames that come in the main kit and just look at all of these cute shapes. My idea is to back these with some pattern paper, and then I'm going to add a series of them on the page with some embellishments inside. I'm going to add some baby powder to the back of the frames so that as I'm moving them around and deciding which ones to use, they won't stick onto my photo or the other pattern papers, causing them to tear. All right, now I have my basic overall format in place, and I'm ready to start playing with these chipboard frames. I'm going to place that light pink one with the black speckles or polka dots in the upper right corner of my photos, and then I'm going to continue that circular shape on the left side with that blue circular frame. I'm also going to add in this purple frame, this rectangular frame, and then I know I want to add one more above that. I thought about adding that wreath, but that wreath frame is so special. I think I really want to highlight that on a layout, so I'm going to stick with the basic shapes here on this page. I opted to go with the white with black dashes on it, the frame in the top, and I like that because it has that black and white pattern and it continues or repeats the black and white pattern of the geometric pattern paper on the right side of the page. Next, I'm pulling out the vellum die cuts, and I'm just going to go through them and start looking through to find pieces that might fit inside my frames or phrases that might work, or just pulling out and eliminating the shapes that won't work as well as the ones that do. So I went ahead and put that framed quote in the top of a little small frame. It said, "Pinch me, how did I get so lucky?" Which this page is about my family, and I feel that way. I feel like I'm so lucky to have these humans in my life. I also pulled out that "Oh Happy Day" phrase to go in the center circle frame because I thought that bright pink color would repeat the color of my pink shirt in the photo. So I definitely want to do some pink as the title. I also pulled out the black leaves and florals, thinking that would be a fun contrast. And now I'm heading over to the cardstock die cuts to do the same thing. I'm just going through the shapes one by one, seeing which ones call my name. I really love that little kitty with the flowers. I thought I might create a scene in that rectangular frame, but I end up taking that off and going more towards the butterfly and flower direction. So I pull out the stamp that says family. I think that I like the blue color and how that repeats the blue color on the left. There's also a few of these circular pieces down by the cat. There's a yellow one. I'll also pull a blue one. They have a heart printed on them, but I thought I needed something yellow on the left side to repeat that yellow floral paper that I used to mat the photos. So I'll just continue to go through these and just make a few little piles to work from, and that will be good. Now that I've picked out some items, I'm going to move over and grab some of that Essentials cardstock. I talked about how one side is like a solid textured print. The texture is actually printed on the paper. It's not actually printed paper, which I think is fantastic because when you go to die cut it, it's not going to dull your blade. Now on the other side is a tonal heart pattern. These essential cardstocks are released with every single kit, and each month they're different, so I love that. So this month it has the tonal hearts on the back. Last month it had ombre patterns, so be sure to check it out. They're beautiful, heavyweight cardstock, and I really love them. Now the first frame that I'm working with is this circular blue frame where I'm going to add the title. I decided to select this white paper with a little purple polka dot fleck because I'm thinking that bright pink color from the vellum die cut that says "Oh Happy Day" will show up best against a white background. So that is why I selected that one. I actually don't end up using that vellum "Oh Happy Day" phrase, but I will fuss with it for a minute and try it out. I chose to snip off the word "O," thinking it will fit better in that circular frame, which it does. However, I want to add this butterfly die cut to the top, and so I take off the word "O," and eventually I actually take away that title and end up using the puffy stickers in the kit, which ends up being a great decision. They stand out more, and you'll see that in just a minute. I'm going to move on to the smaller frames, and in all of the remaining frames I will place that tonal heart pattern from the essential cardstocks, and I love it. I love how the little hearts peek through the vellum die cuts and just add a subtle visual texture. I'm really loving the heart and the butterfly. I know I want those to stay for sure, so I'm going to go ahead and adhere those to the frames using some foam tape. The next thing I come across is, you probably noticed that I pulled out that blue label that is along the top edge of the photo, and I like that blue label. I'm going to adhere a little phrase to it because it brings the blue color of the outside border in towards the center of the page. That blue circular frame does the same thing. It's repeating that blue, that lighter blue color from the outside cardstock. I'll go ahead and use a bit of thin foam tape to add to that blue label, and then I'm just holding up the pink circle frame to help me to position it, making sure to leave enough room for that circular frame on the right. All right, so I'm going to be adding that blue heart pattern paper again to the small pink circle frame, and I really like how these frames are looking. However, I feel like we need to fill in some of the spaces. I spot this frame paper, and I'm going to fussy cut out several of the frames. I love that there's all these different colors, and I'm going to layer them up with the existing chipboard frames. So I placed a yellow frame to the left of the blue circle frame, just bringing that yellow color again over to the left side of the page to repeat the pink or the yellow floral paper, I'm going to place a dark one behind the light pink speckled circle. I have a dark blue one below the blue circle, and then another light blue one just framing that corner of the purple frame. I'll go ahead and add that tonal heart paper to the purple frame as well, and we're just rocking and rolling. As I get all these items into place, I really like how it looked, and I think I'm ready to decorate inside the frames. I grabbed that blue postage stamp that says family to go in the pink circle, and now I'm going to look for some other items. I find this third chipboard butterfly that I'm going to place on the bottom right corner of the purple frame. And then while I was looking at that chipboard frame pack, I noticed this little sprig with the blue leaves, the little floral sprig. So I'm going to tuck that in there to the left of the blue frame, which actually prompts me to go to the cardstock die cuts and look for more floral pieces. I decided that it'd be really fun to just accent each of these frames with some leaf branches and some floral pieces. So here I'm just selecting a few to swag or accent the corners of each of these frames, and I will fidget with these for a little while, so we'll just go ahead and watch that now. I start to bring in the dark black vellum leaves, and I like this because it adds a punch of black, kind of that sketchy feel with those outline leaves, but also I love the different texture of the vellum. It just adds this wispy, ethereal feel. So I'm going to play with these for a little while as well. I don't show this on video, but I do end up putting some vellum black leaves by that heart in the top right corner as well. I wanted some to also go down by the butterfly at the bottom of the page, and in those vellum die cuts there was a heart wreath that was made out of leaves, and so I used that and just tuck that underneath that small butterfly at the bottom, where just layering it over that yellow circle. Again, that yellow circle is repeating the yellow floral paper so that you have yellow on both sides of the page. I'll continue to place floral die cuts, and I really love how this looks. It's so super sweet. Now that I have all of my frames decorated, I'm going to add my journaling to that largest frame, and I printed it on vellum so that it would match the other vellum accents. Here's where I use the puffy stickers included in the main kit to create my title, and you'll see that this works a lot better. It's a cute font, it's bold, and I love that that coral color picks up the coral in the florals that are around the page. I remembered here that I want to stitch around that blue triangle and lace, or not triangle, the blue paper with the lace paper layered on top. Remember I talked about that at the beginning, and I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot to do that. So I tear it up. I'm going to mat it on one of the light pink Cardstock Essentials pages. I will go ahead and distress that, and then I'll take that over into to my other desk to add the stitching. I used black stitching just to punctuate all the black outlines of the, there's the black outlines of the black vellum leaves, and I think it's a nice accent color to pick that up again. Now on that yellow floral photo block, you can see that I've decorated the top right hand corner, and when I looked at the bottom portion, it looked a little bit blank. So I went back to my cardstock die cuts and I found this tab die cut. So I added a little phrase to that as well, and I'm going to adhere that at the bottom of the photo. I didn't want it to look like it was just floating there, so to speak, so I grabbed my mini stapler and I just added a couple staples to the left end. Because I added staples there on the layout, I wanted to repeat the staples somewhere else on the layout, so I chose to put them in the top right corner of the page. Well, that's it, my friends. This will finish up my first layout as a part of the Hip Kit Club design team, as well as my first layout with the February 2023 kits. Be sure to go pick one up for you because these exclusive products are gorgeous and you're going to love playing with them. I'll be back again soon with more inspiration using the February kits. See you next time.